ekiri mu Parliament alipoota ku nguudo embi mu ggwanga effulumi. Ani avunaanyizibwa, ani alemereddwa omulimu gwe, ani atakola kyalina kukola, ani ali enguzi okulaba ng'enguudo mbi nnyo nga buli wootuuka binnya. E Kampala ewaawa buli kitundu kya ggwanga enguudo mbi, lwaki enguudo tezikolebwa, ebizibu buli ludda. Kati nno olunaku olwaleero Parliament y'eggwanga Uganda etudde n'efuna alipoota gye yasindika ababaka Parliament okugenda okuyigga bagifune bazuule ekituufu ekirina okukolebwa okulaba ng'enguudo z'e Uganda zibeera yadde okulaba nga bannayuganda batambulira ku nguudo ennungi, enguudo ezitaliimu binnya, enguudo ezitagwamu. Beebuuza lwaki enguudo ziba zaakakolwa mu bbanga ttono nnyo, myaka mitono ate ne zigwamu, nga bava ku kyawo okulabirako ekya Katonga eriwaguudo lwagwamu n'enguudo endala nnyingi okutoola eggwanga Uganda zaabomoka mu Namutikwa enkuba eyatonnya zonna ne zigwamu. Enguudo nnyingi mu kibuga Kampala n'ebibuga eby'enjawulo zonna zijjudde ebinnya, bw'oyisaamu emmotoka egenda ezina bampe. Kati nno Parliament olwaleero etudde okutema empenda okulaba ng'enguudo za Uganda zitereezebwa, era baani abalina omusango, baani abalya mu lulime ne mu luzise okulaba ng'enguudo tezitereera, okulaba ng'enguudo zibaamu ebinnya, ensimbi zibulirawa, ezo Parliament zeeyisa okukola enguudo n'okuddaabiriza. Kati nikusaba otwegatteko n'obwombofu bw'ekika ekya waggulu tugende mu Parliament y'eggwanga Uganda olunaku olwaleero tulabe ki ekigenda mu maaso ku alipoota efulumiziddwa ku nguudo za Uganda.
Local government, we want you back. We cannot allow you people to start sneaking out after you have finished what you asked. We have an issue on the road fund, you're not going to start running out. Now for us who are here, you mean we don't have where to go? Okay. Honorable members, yes, Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on table Treasury Memoranda on the report of the Public Accounts Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises for the financial year 2020-2021. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Should be transmitted to Auditor General for scrutiny.
Item 4.4, Treasury Memorandum on the reports of the Public Accounts Committee, Local Government for the financial year 2020-2021.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on table the Treasury Memoranda on the report of the Public Accounts Committee, Local Governments for financial year 2020-2021. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Should be transmitted to Auditor General for scrutiny. Next item.
Item 5, motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Physical Infrastructure on the guidelines for implementation works under the Rehabilitation Development Grant for District Urban Community Access Roads in Uganda.
Honorable members, on Wednesday, 19th July 2023, the Minister of Works and Transport, Honorable General Katumba Wamala, tabled the guidelines for implementation of works under the rehabilitation. And I want you to bold rehabilitation development grant for the district. Urban and community access roads in Uganda. I duly referred this to the Committee of Fiscal Infrastructure. I also remember this House passed a resolution for disbursement of 1 billion shillings per district local government for maintenance of the roads. Maintenance of the roads under the urban and community access roads in several districts, municipalities, and cities. How the wording came in and it changed to rehabilitation is one of the things that we need to settle in this House. And this money was supposed to go direct the local government, not through Ministry of Works. I invite the chair of the committee to present the report. Honorable Government Chief Whip, can we have some silence from your side? Because now what we are discussing concerns our coming back or not coming back in the constituencies.
Right Honorable Speaker, in accordance with Rule 177 of the Parliamentary Rules of Procedures, I wish to lay the reports and the minutes of the Physical Infrastructure Committee of Parliament that scrutinized the guidelines of the Works and Transport Rehabilitation Development Grant Implementation Guidelines for financial year 2023-24.
Please, Mayor.
Right Honorable Speaker, during the financial year 2023-24, Government of Uganda allocated 1 billion Uganda shillings for each of the 135 districts, 10 cities, and 31 municipalities, with the intention of ensuring improved overall condition of the district, urban, and community access road network with a view of enhancing rural accessibility and working environment in urban areas. To this effect, Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Transport issued guidelines termed Works and Transport Rehabilitation Grant Implementation Guidelines for the financial year 2023-24 to guide the local governments in the utilization of the Uganda shillings 1 billion. These guidelines, Right Honorable Speaker, were laid before Parliament on the 19th of July, 2023 by the Minister of Works and Transport. The Right Honorable Speaker then referred the guidelines to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure for scrutiny. Pursuant to Rule 189 of the Rules of Procedures of Parliament of Uganda, the Committee on Physical Infrastructure is mandated, among others, to examine and comment on policy matters affecting the ministries covered by them. The committee has scrutinized the guidelines and now reports.
Yes, procedure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we are debating something that is very sensitive, but none of the three ministers from the docket responsible is around. Could you, through your office, maybe ask the Chief Whip to whip one of his ministers to be around, Right Honorable Speaker?
We have the Minister of Finance, who is supposed to disburse the money. We also have local government, who is the recipient of the money. And the government is here putting on UPC, NOB, NRM, Ugandan flag.
Right Honorable Speaker.
No, we are okay. The ministers we have can sort out.
The committee, in scrutinizing these guidelines, interacted with the Ministry of Works and Transport and the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. The committee also reviewed the guidelines issued by the Ministry of Works and Transport. The committee also reviewed the relevant answers of the debate relating to the appropriation of this money on the 20th April 2023 and 18th May 2023. Committee observations and recommendations. Consultations on guidelines. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that there were inadequate consultations with the beneficiary agencies and stakeholders over the grant utilization guidelines. While the committee expected the Ministry of Works and Transport to consult widely with agencies and stakeholders on the operations of the guidelines, with a view of integrating their views prior to dissemination of the same, this was not the case. Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development reported that at the time of appearing before the committee, he was yet to receive an update from the Ministry of Works on the development of the guidelines. Failure to meet with the stakeholders and beneficiary agencies to obtain feedback on the guidelines shall affect the effectiveness of implementation and lead to non-adherence to the grant implementation guidelines. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that in the future, the Ministry of Works and Transport should undertake wide consultations before issuing guidelines. Right Honorable Speaker, the scope of works in the guidelines. The committee observed that the guidelines provide for the grant to be utilized strictly for rehabilitation works. While appearing before the committee, the Minister of Finance indicated that Cabinet directed an additional 1 billion shillings be given to each local government for road rehabilitation and maintenance. In addition, the subsequent communication between Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ministry of Works and Transport, and Uganda Road Fund, as well as the recommendations by the committee at the time of appropriation, specified the funds to cater for both rehabilitation and maintenance interventions. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that the scope of works as defined in the guidelines includes interventions such as opening of new priority roads, heavy grading, shaping of side drains, miter drains and offshoots, procurement of culverts for national use and emergencies, graveling or re-graveling and ancillary works. According to the Ministry of Works and Transport, all the above works would be classified as rehabilitation interventions, thereby excluding any maintenance activities. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee further observed that during consideration of the budget for the financial year 2023-24, on the 20th April 2023, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker directed the Committee on Budget, I quote, to look for Uganda shillings 1 billion wherever it is and bring it under the Uganda Road Fund. Pick it from the local government and put it under the road fund. That is how it has been managed properly, end of quote. The committee notes that the Uganda shillings 1 billion is indicated as a works and transport rehabilitation grant under the individual local governments. Being a rehabilitation grant, during Q1, 250 million shillings was released to be used for rehabilitation only. Although Parliament had approved it for both rehabilitation and maintenance purposes to the road fund, it should be noted that the Road Fund Act provides for the road fund to be utilized only for road maintenance interventions, excluding rehabilitation purposes. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee therefore recommends the following: that Ministry of Works and Transport should review the guidelines with a view of expanding the scope of the works to include both rehabilitation and maintenance interventions. 2, that given the funds for Q1 have been dispatched directly to the local governments, the beneficiary agencies be permitted to utilize these funds for both rehabilitation and maintenance purposes as per their work plan. Number 3, the Road Fund Act be amended to provide for both rehabilitation and maintenance works, so that in the subsequent financial years, the Road Fund administers the grant in its entirety. Right Honorable Speaker, implementation of the guidelines. The Ministry of Works and Transport informed the committee that only 89 beneficiary agencies had so far submitted their work plans. 82 beneficiaries had complied with the guidelines, while 27 beneficiaries had submitted work plans, but never complied with the guidelines. 89 beneficiaries had received feedback, and 87 had failed to submit their work plans. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that despite the failure to adhere to the guidelines, all the beneficiary agencies had received funding totaling 250 million Uganda shillings for implementation of the grant. The committee also noted that in the past, most districts would receive between 150 to 250 million annually for maintenance of roads, and with this money, they would do significant work. Surprisingly, Right Honorable Speaker, with the current arrangement under the Ministry of Works and Transport, districts that have submitted plans have above 50 kilometers have had their plans rejected, and the reason behind this rejection is that Ministry of Works argues that 1 billion shillings is so little to rehabilitate anything above 50 kilometers. Right Honorable Speaker, going by this standard, a district will only rehabilitate only one road annually. Right Honorable Speaker, this shows that the Ministry of Works and Transport is out of touch with the reality on the grounds in the districts. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that the District Roads Committee should come up with work plans, approve them, and only notify the Ministry of Works and Transport. Right Honorable Speaker, this will deal with the bureaucratic red tape that would result in the delay of implementation of the projects, resulting in the funds being returned to the treasury at the expiry of the financial year, hence defeating the objective. Right Honorable Speaker, this proposal would give flexibility of innovation and creativity to district road committees to work on more kilometers in their respective districts, because they are more aware of the acute and peculiar needs. Right Honorable Speaker, each district should commence work on the approved projects as soon as the District Roads Committee has approved. Operational expense. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that the guidelines provide for funds for the road works of 850 million shillings, while operational expenses of 150 million, that is 15% of the grant amount. And then the expenses are broken down as follows. Administration, 30 million shillings, that's 3%. Annual district road inventory and condition surveys, 20 million, which is 2%. And repair and maintenance of equipment, Uganda shillings, 100 million, which is 10%. Ordinarily, Right Honorable Speaker, the beneficiary agencies are expected to undertake the works provided under these operational expenses, and therefore these funds are part of their budgets. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, permitting the utilization of these funds would tantamount to double expenditure for the same. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that the operational expenses provided under the guidelines should be reviewed to not more than 5% of the grant amount, that is 50 million, and used for repair and maintenance purposes. The rest of the proposed operational costs should be utilized for implementing the road works. Roles of district road committees. Right Honorable Speaker, although the guidelines mention the role of district road committees as to prioritize, consider and approve work plans, as well as provide oversight role in ensuring that road works are executed as per the required quality and standards specified in the designs, the committee observes that there is a lack of clarity in the guidelines on the role of the district road committees in the entire implementation process of the fund. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that if the status quo remains as it is, the role of the district road committee should be clearly spelled out right from planning, approvals, and entire implementation process. Right Honorable Speaker, the members of Parliament should be part and parcel of the process of rehabilitation and maintenance in their respective entities to ensure that the grant is properly utilized. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, and honorable colleagues, Uganda shillings 1 billion meant for 135 districts, 10 cities, and 31 municipalities should be used for both rehabilitation and maintenance of the TUCA network. This should be determined by the District Roads Committee under the Uganda Road Fund, having considered the peculiar needs of the individual districts. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable members, I want to thank the chair for elaborate report. You want to debate on this? Who is the shadow works? You're part of the report. Okay. Yes, Ekanya. I only want members who are not part of the committee. Ekanya. Honorable Ekanya.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you and the Minister of Works, and especially by directing the chairperson to analyze the guideline. Madam Speaker, I want to seek the indulgence of this House to make special consideration for Tororo district, because it is 1 billion shilling, Madam Speaker, for every district in Uganda. But Tororo district, as you speak now, is like 4 districts in one. And therefore, Madam Speaker, the 1 billion shillings, my constituency, Toro County North and Toro County South, because of the political fight we have in that district, our roads are in their very terrible condition. And even because the roads are in their terrible conditions, we need, Madam Speaker, this House to direct Minister of Works to make special consideration for Tororo to get 2 billion information through Madam Speaker.
Thank you. So Tororo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I first of all want to thank you, thank the House, and also thank government for the consideration they made to give us the 1 billion shilling. But Madam Speaker, this comes also with a contestation, with the road fund having been adjusted. Madam Speaker, as we debate this, we must also resolve on that issue that the road fund that was reduced must be taken back. Now, as I come back.
Honorable, as you debate on that, the other reports that we referred to the Committee on Road Fund, there is a report on Road Fund.
Thank you very much.
Covers what you're talking about.
Thank you very much.
The issue at hand now is on the management of 1 billion shillings.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in reference to what Honorable Kanya said, and we always raise this in good faith. Tororo, you are aware we've been having a contestation for a very long time. I am happy Honorable Kanya, who almost killed himself here in the 9th Parliament, this time has come back. And he has come back when the President has made a pronouncement that the district now, the London report has been released. Madam Speaker, the district is so large. We are the only district here as we speak in the country with 8 members of Parliament. We are the only district here. Listen, we are the only district here, Madam Speaker, with 48 administrative units as we talk. A very large district. So, Madam Speaker, as we appreciate the 1 billion, how I wish How I wish if government,
That will be handled under the road fund,
yes, how I
which
wish
is before the
if government
committee.
can consider adding us something little, but I'm also happy the committee as a result of that the district roads committee will conclude on this. Because even in our district, the executive members, and I want to say this, maybe it happened even in your districts, the executive members in our district sat and appropriated this money. For my constituency, that is Tororo South, I received 250 million that was allocated. But this money was put on a road of 3 kilometers. 3, just as small as that. So, Madam Speaker, I want to thank the committee. The district roads report must be admitted.
Who put the money on the road of 3
The
kilometers?
executive, the district executive, not the roads committee. So that this, I am not part of the district executive.
Honorable member, that's why we are saying we need this money in the road fund, roads committee, where you're a member. The problem with the members of parliament, you don't attend a roads committee meetings. You've left the work to the district. So don't bring your inefficiencies to the house. You need to do your work, your oversight role.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Why I said that, we found this work plan on the table, and they were also insisting that we should follow that. And that is why now the district roads committee will take lead and be able to guide in this. And finally, Madam Speaker, we need this issue of Tororo concluded, the district be divided such that we can take services nearer to the people. I thank you very much.
I am happy Honorable Magesi is here and is listening. Solomon.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the committee for the wonderful work that they have done. And I pick my interest on the issue of the machinery, the maintenance of the machinery. Right Honorable Speaker, some of us have in our districts, the machinery there is a bit old and it needs some maintenance. So I would propose, Right Honorable Speaker, that there is a bit of flexibility between 5% to 10% of that 1 billion can be allowed for machinery maintenance. I propose, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
We are not going to start determining how much is going to be used for what. That is operational for the district. Assuming the machinery is not in bad condition, that is the way people will start eating money. They will say, after all, it was approved. This is what should be used for this. Let's not go into that. Let's look at where is this money going to be. Is it going to be under the road fund in the district?
Right.
Or is going to be under Ministry of Works?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I support the committee report that that money should be under road fund, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Members, you will speak.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the committee for the report presented in regard to the utilization of the 1 billion shillings and the proposal that the money goes to rehabilitation, but also maintenance. Also, concerned to that, I want to admit that in our districts, especially mountainous areas, they have a very unique challenge, and that unique challenge is about the terrain, where you do the maintenance, all that kind of thing, but by the time you put maram, the following day or the following week, the rains wash it all away. And so that's why I absolutely submit and agree with the committee that that money goes back to be under the direct overseership of the District Works Committee, because they have been managing meager resources and they have been working out something. So with a little bit of that increment, they should be more efficient to look at all these resources in a better way. And I believe that will work better. I submit with thanks. Yes.
Honorable members, Our interest is on the bigger coverage of the works being done. Not so. And when we say that the committee, that we should do both maintenance and rehabilitation, that's when you reduce the coverage. Let it be maintenance. Maintenance. Okay?
Madam Speaker.
Tony Pius. Tony Pius. Shamim.
Nambooze.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the chairperson and the committee, but allow me in a special way to thank you, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker and the President, that one of the biggest challenges of members of Parliament has been issues of road. The biggest question you would get when roads are not okay. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, the ministry simply wanted to hijack this process and create more problem. But if you were to monitor, most of the district roads were much more motorable than the central government roads in most districts because they were able to act on time and promptly. So I am in support of the committee position that the guidelines should be amended to allow the district roads committee to prevail in guiding the district roads fund, district roads committee to guide the utilization and implementation of the 1 billion shillings, in addition to funds.
Honorable members, I want you to, there is a difference between the district road fund committee, and then that's where your chairs. The chair of that committee is you. Then the district works committee of the council, council executive. Those are two different, yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, from my experience, we have already approved the work plan for this financial year, including the 1 billion shillings and the one coming from. So the district council, through the roads committee, with the district engineer, they sit and then submit to us, and then we go through and approve the utilization. This is how we do it, Right Honorable Speaker. But Right Honorable Speaker, the amendment of the Road Fund Act, the committee on physical infrastructure to fast track it so that there is no contradiction, and this will make implementation more clear and easy. Otherwise, the Minister of Works, as the law it is, they will always have their say, and this will bring confusion, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the roads are in the district or districts. We cannot say you simply do maintenance alone, because at a certain point, as members of the District Roads Committee, you will be faced with a need to rehabilitate some section of the road, and then you will need to put some money on that. But we would want to do more priority in maintaining the roads that are existing, but where there is need, an emergency, where you need to do rehabilitation, then we put some money there, Right Honorable Speaker. So the District Roads Committee should be able to make judgment, to listen to the demand of the people, and then they take a position so that we don't tie our hands that simply rehabilitation or maintenance only. Let's have both, but then the committee will have to decide depending on the situation on the ground. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
First of all, why I was changing the name of rehabilitation, according to the guidelines that were given by Works, the Works is specific that fund is only for rehabilitation.
Right Honorable Speaker, this Parliament strongly agree that we change the position of the works position. Once they talk about rehabilitation, those are major works. They don't do rehabilitation as it is in the Act of Road Fund Act. So for here as Parliament, we are agreeing, yes, we are not going as per the Minister of Works position and guidelines, but under the District Roads Committee, the district should be able to decide and see which road needs to be rehabilitated and which one needs to be maintained, but not as per, yes, information.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Tony, for giving. Right Honorable Speaker, your concern is very valid and has been taken care of, because in the interaction of the committee with the Minister of Finance and Works, the Minister of Works admitted that considering rehabilitation will be suffocating the districts. So upon the recommendation of this Parliament, the guidelines will be reviewed and then to constitute our interest. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We are not giving works to amend their guidelines because we are not giving them this money. Okay? This money, we are making a decision, and maybe I need to guide the House. That's enough debate. We all know what we want.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, after listening to all what you've said, Pius was supposed to speak.
Madam Speaker, one little thing. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the committee. Actually, they have answered my prayers because it is me who raised this matter. Right Honorable Speaker, the biggest challenge is the district engineers. I happen to be the chairperson of Hoima District Roads Committee, but I think most district engineers are in acting capacity. Specifically, they are appointed on acting capacity so that they can be kept on their jobs by giving bribes to politicians in the district. So my issue is that they should be appointed permanently on their jobs if they are to perform their duties very well. Because this man has been misused. For example, in my district of recent, in some area, some people demonstrated because of a poor road. I had to come in and got the district grader. I only used the fuel of 1 million just to grade 4 kilometers, but a district can use 40 million just to grade 5 kilometers. So I think we need to monitor this money seriously if we are to maintain our positions in Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you, right.
Thank you, Pius. As Pius has said, the problem is also on us. We don't monitor. We don't put time into this. You have a position? Just a minute.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I think we better put perspective about the origin of the 1 billion. Right, Honorable Speaker. This is purely a nice job that was done in the committees of Parliament. When the road fund appeared in the Committee of Finance, there was a noticeable deficiency in the district. The money was too little to make an impact. They made an appeal to the committee to find ways of raising the requisite amount of money to fund road maintenance in the district and the rehabilitation. Most MPs, we realized, were using their own small money to go and grade and maintain roads. The attritional rate on why most MPs are not being returned is because of the poor status of roads. District local leaders were being beaten and chased away from communities because of poor status of roads. So in our view, we said, let us find 1 billion. And that 1 billion will go to districts so that the district have, mark you, each district today has got a complete road unit. Some, let me qualify it. Some districts have a complete road unit for which the money provided under the normal budgeting could not even fuel the grader, the excavator, the truck to maintain roads. So this money specific, I don't know where the Minister of Works wants to come in. This money was to go to the district supervised by the road fund. Very, very supervised by the road. Get me right. And the MPs, most of us chair, I've been a district chair of my roads committee. The MPs who sit and chair the roads committee will determine, together with the resolutions of council and other organs of the council, on how this money is utilized under the supervision of the road fund. Now, the Ministry of Works should completely get out of this business. should get out of this business. And for once, because they had a duty over the years to maintain roads, they failed. Now that you have brought this money, our view is, one, supervised, let's be specific, supervised by the National Road Fund and the auspices of the Roads Committee of Districts. They should determine the use of this money so that for once and for all, we sort out the question of road maintenance in our districts. I beg, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I've given Shamim. Then court.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I sit on Kampala City Roads Committee, and on Tuesday we held a meeting, and most of the concerns that we are raised, first was the issue of a report on the funds that have so far been released, because we have reports from the people of Kampala that the funds that we are released were not actually used in maintaining and rehabilitating the roads. So one of the resolutions that we came up with that we also ask that this parliament should consider and put into place is that the funds must directly be managed by the district road fund committees and with the road fund. I so submit.
Thank you, Okot.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first of all, I want to support the report from the committee. And I want to thank them so much to follow the guidance from this house. Madam Speaker, you are well aware that when the late Speaker, you were still working with him, he was the one who came with this idea of 1 billion shilling given to the district. And then when he came with this idea, the idea was supported. And then thank you so much for carrying this thing forward. Madam Speaker, every district has a unique topography of the area. And the survey was done. And all the money that was being sent, on average, they say that if 1 billion can be put for the road works at the district, it will work and it will help us to solve the problems of the road access in every part of the district. Therefore, for us to give it out to the Minister of Works, maybe the Wanderer and whatever, to manage this road, to manage this fund, and to give the guidelines so that the guidelines is going to be, it is not going to be used well. For me, I support the position of the committee. All the regional workstations for the machineries, there are budgets that they put to maintenance and the repair of the machines, of the road funds, and all these things are there. We also voted money for it. Let us ring-fence this money so that we do the roads work at the district, not to give away the power to the ministry, because we are going to be there so that we shall monitor, supervise, and make sure that this money is utilized in an appropriate manner. I support the report, and I thank you so much for standing for vision. This vision is met. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Sanon Kamuntu. Sanon Kamuntu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in my district, I am the chair of the road committee. Last financial year, we received 220 million. We were able to maintain 6 roads. Now,
how many kilometers?
The kilometers were over 52. You listen, this is my district, not yours. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the allocation of 1 billion to Kaliro district, we are going to cover over 110 kilometers under maintenance. I'm telling you the truth. For us, our topography is okay. The soil texture is very fine. And the scientists, those who are here, you can go and test our soil. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, giving the ministry powers again to dictate for the usage of this money, it's a mistake on its own. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, 1 billion, according to the quotations of the minister, it will work for more or less 15 kilometers. And this one, it is going to kill the intention of this money. So I want to commend the committee, and I associate my
utilized in an appropriate manner. I support the report, and I thank you so much for standing for vision. This vision is met. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Sanon Kamonto. Sanon Kamonto.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in my district, I am the chair of the road committee. Last financial year, we received 220 million. We were able to maintain 6 roads. Now,
How many kilometers?
The kilometers were over 52. You listen, this is my district, not yours. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the allocation of 1 billion to Kaliro district, we are going to cover over 110 kilometers under maintenance. I'm telling you the truth. For us, our topography is okay. The soil texture is very fine. And the scientists, those who are here, you can go and test our soil. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, giving the ministry powers again to dictate for the usage of this money, it's a mistake on its own. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, 1 billion, according to the quotations of the minister, it will work for more or less 15 kilometers. And this one, it is going to kill the intention of this money. So I want to commend the committee, and I associate my
for which the money provided under the normal budgeting could not even fuel the grader, the excavator, the truck to maintain roads. So this money specific, I don't know where the Minister of Works wants to come in. This money was to go to the district supervised by the road fund. Very, very supervised by the road. Get me right. And the MPs, most of us chair, I've been a district chair of my roads committee. The MPs who sit and chair the roads committee will determine together with the resolutions of council and other organs of the council on how this money is utilized under the supervision of the road fund. Now, the Ministry of Works should completely get out of this business. Should get out of this business, and for once, because they had a duty over the years to maintain roads, they failed. Now that you have brought this money, our view is, one, supervised, let's be specific, supervised by the National Road Fund and the auspices of the Roads Committee of Districts. They should determine the use of this money so that for once and for all, we sort out the question of road maintenance in our districts. I beg, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I've given Shamim. Then court.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I sit on Kampala City Roads Committee, and on Tuesday we held a meeting, and most of the concerns that we are raised, first was the issue of a report on the funds that have so far been released, because we have reports from the people of Kampala that the funds that we are released were not actually used in maintaining and rehabilitating the roads. So one of the resolutions that we came up with that we also ask that this Parliament should consider and put into place is that the funds must directly be managed by the district road fund committees and with the road fund. I so submit.
Thank you, Okot.
You will be fine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first of all, I want to support the report from the committee. And I want to thank them so much to follow the guidance from this house. Madam Speaker, you are well aware that when the late Speaker, you were still working with him, he was the one who came with this idea of 1 billion shilling given to the district. And then when he came with this idea, the idea was supported. And then thank you so much for carrying this thing forward. Madam Speaker, every district has a unique topography of the area. And the survey was done. And all the money that was being sent, on average, they say that if 1 billion can be put for the road works at the district, it will work and it will help us to solve the problems of the road access in every part of the district. Therefore, for us to give it out to the Minister of Works, maybe the Wanderer and whatever, to manage this road, to manage this fund, and to give the guidelines so that the guidelines is going to be, it is not going to be used well. For me, I support the position of the committee. All the regional workstations for the machineries, there are budgets that they put to maintenance and the repair of the machines, of the road funds, and all these things are there. We also voted money for it. Let us ring-fence this money so that we do the roads work at the district, not to give away the power to the ministry, because we are going to be there so that we shall monitor, supervise, and make sure that this money is utilized in a proper manner. I support the report, and I thank you so much for standing for vision. This vision is met. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Sanon Kamuntu. Sanon Kamuntu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in my district, I am the chair of the road committee. Last financial year, we received 220 million. We were able to maintain 6 roads. Now,
how many kilometers?
The kilometers were over 52. You listen, this is my district, not yours. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the allocation of 1 billion to Kaliro district, we are going to cover over 110 kilometers under maintenance. I'm telling you the truth. For us, our topography is okay. The soil texture is very fine. And the scientists, those who are here, you can go and test our soil. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, giving the ministry powers again to dictate for the usage of this money, it's a mistake on its own. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, 1 billion, according to the quotations of the minister, it will work for more or less 15 kilometers. And this one, it is going to kill the intention of this money. So I want to commend the committee, and I associate myself with all the observations and the recommendations. This money should be managed by the district road fund committees, road committee, and the minister should not only be notified that this is what we are going to work on, such that the coverage is very wide. The Minister of Works.
No, we don't have to notify them.
They can even refuse even to notify them.
Come on.
Thank you very much.
The minister to be notified is local government. Come on to.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. We are grateful for 1 billion, but Rwanda district where you come from, we have a unique challenge. First of all, we almost have no roads to maintain. And being a new district, we have no road units. And given our challenge, because every 2 kilometers we encounter a serious bridge. And I think 1 billion cannot construct more than 2 bridges. For in Rwanda, we still have a serious challenge. So 1 billion is not enough for Rwanda because we are going to use it to hire machinery. We are going to use it to hire machinery for I wanted that to. Well, 1 billion is not enough for Rwanda district, given that we are a new district and we have no road unit, and given the challenge of the terrain. In the future, Madam Speaker, Rwanda district should be considered as a unique district. Thank you.
Procedure. There is a motion. A motion.
Right, Honorable.
Honorable members,
Motion.
I want you to read your rules. Once there's a motion, let's first have the motion.
Motion.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Given your guidance from the beginning of this debate, that this one is a do or die, as far as your tenure is concerned, at least for next Parliament. Given the report that has been very thoroughly put and clearly elaborated upon all the issues concerning our concerns, I wish to move a motion that the House adopts this report.
That I put a question.
Without any amendments. And that the question be put. I beg to move.
With
amendments, with amendments relevant, as contributed by members of
Anthony,
the Speaker. I want to thank you.
Honorable Ibanda, Mukono Isingiro, Singiro, Queen Dancer, seconded by the whole House, including Ogusuli. Yes. Honorable members, just a minute. Honorable members, having had the debate and following our earlier decision that was made on 20th April 2023 and May 18th, 2023 on the subject matter of 1 billion shillings additional fund to 135 districts, 10 cities, and 31 municipalities for road maintenance, but not rehabilitation. By resolution of Parliament, of this Parliament, I wish to guide us as follows and direct I am guiding and directing that the name of the grant be changed from road rehabilitation to road maintenance. Attorney General, we agreed if there is any minor rehabilitation to be done, it shall be done, but let the fund be maintenance grant. 2, the grant be managed under Uganda Road Fund Act 2008 and all the regulations thereunder. 3, for avoidance of doubt, the Uganda shillings 1 billion in addition to the prior budgetary allocation for road maintenance to the districts, cities and municipalities. As such, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development should ensure full disbursement to the beneficiary administrative units. 4, districts, cities, and municipalities are duly bound to ensure prudent and accountable utilization of the disbursed funds in line with approved guidelines under Uganda Road Fund Act 2008. 5, all districts, cities, and municipalities are hereby directed to immediately hold statutory meetings as provided for under the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008 in order to prioritize and devise the work plans for the 1 billion shillings. 6, the work plans for each district, cities, and municipalities must be duly approved by the respective road committees. A road fund committee, this shall equally apply with the accountability reports. 7, for emphasis, honorable members, I implore you to fully participate in all the activities of the road committees, and this shall be chaired by a member of parliament. 8, districts, cities, municipalities accordingly. I want you to listen. Ashaba, districts, cities, and municipalities are accordingly directed to comply with the resolution of this House today, and failure to do so will attract sanctions under the laws of Uganda. 9, the clerk is hereby directed to extract and circulate these resolutions to the Minister of Works and Transport, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Minister of Local Government, Uganda Road Fund Committee, Uganda Road Fund, and all the districts, all the cities, all the municipalities, and all members of parliament. I here direct. Next item. Honorable members, I now put a question that the report on Committee of Fiscal Infrastructure on the guidelines on implementation of works under rehabilitation development grant for districts, urban and community access roads in Uganda as amended with the instructions and directives be adopted by this House. Those in favor say and contrary nay. The ayes have it. Yes, yes, a procedural matter. There's a procedural matter from law, from you, but I thought law first.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for your guidance on the matter outgoing.
When you finish, I will need a commitment from finance to be on record. Honorable Musasisi, I want a commitment from you that the money is going to leave the single treasury account and go direct to districts, not via works.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me first
tukyali mu Parliament y'eggwanga Uganda. Isiza amendment empya oba enkola empya weeyagalira ensimbi z'okukola enguudo amakubo mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo zitwalibwe direct ku district oba mu local council abo abavunaanyizibwa mu kukola enguudo zino. Zive mu kuyisibwa eno mu ministry y'ebyenguudo gye zibadde ziyita ya works ate yo n'eryoka ezisindika eri ku districts. At Parliament yagala ensimbi ezo zitwalibwe direct ku district esobole okuddaabiriza n'okukola enguudo zaayo.
Madam Speaker, my brother from Rwanda said something which I would like to clarify. Rwanda district has a road unit. What we don't have is the big tractor. This one, the wheel, it is called wheel loader. It is called the dozer, I am being advised. Yes, but the rest of, like any other, apart from the districts where Kasanda belongs, Rwanda at least benefited in 2016. So we have a fully fledged road unit, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, the Minister of Finance comes from Rwanda. He uses the road that comes from Kabale to Kisoro. He has made a serious commitment here that will send money to the districts to handle roads. Is it procedure correct to have the road from Kabale to Rwanda in a very dangerous situation that any time we can have a serious accident and the minister does not provide resource? And yet this is the road which connects Kabale to Kisoro and part of the Great Lakes to Anki Road. Is it procedure for the minister not to provide money for a serious road, national road, in his own district?
Honorable members, you see, the problem we have, once the minister provides for Kabale Road, you'll again complain, why not Tororo?
Why not Kampala?
The minister, for him, he looks at national character. He has provided for Eastern Road, so that one will come in the next financial year.
Madam Speaker.
Let's not go into a discussion of roads.
Yes.
For us, we wanted your commitment on disbursement of funds.
You see, something, Madam Speaker,
and don't endanger my minister in the name of that he has not provided money. No.
Madam Speaker, since a matter has come concerning my name and also my district, I want to clarify as follows. Recently, we got a terrible landslide that hit the entire Chigezi sub-region, and it left the coverage Soro Road broken into two, particularly Hamugwa. Hamugwa is in Rwanda East constituency, where I come from, and is actually the road which links me to my home village. Madam Speaker,
There's an order.
we have been...
There's an order.
Right, Honourable Speaker, you have made a ruling on that matter. The matter was raised by Honorable Ekanya. Ekanya, the Speaker has provided guidance. In fact, praised you how you are national in approach. Right, Honourable Speaker, is the member in order to continue providing an explanation of a matter where you have ruled and guided, and even praised him of being a person of national character? Is in order.
Honorable members, I wasted my praise. No, Lob was on. Lob, can you first allow your two members?
Madam Speaker, I thank you for keeping this promise of the 1 billion alive. But I want to bring to your attention the issue to do with municipalities as a procedure matter. As much as 1 billion shillings is going to be sent to the district, the same amount of money will be sent to municipalities. However, Madam Speaker, the Lord's Committee is mandated to do work in the whole district, including the municipalities, which receive monies on their own, from their own account directly from the center. Madam Speaker, on this particular fund of load maintenance and the demand you have put that we should really monitor and account for this money, we find that sitting at the districts,
Procedure.
the biggest part of the membership at the district,
She's on procedure.
the biggest part of the membership at the district committee are from the rural parts of the district. Like in Mukono, yes, I have the woman MP, but still I sit on that committee alone. The people at the district committee, at the district council, don't appreciate the issues in the municipalities. Madam Speaker, on this particular fund, wouldn't it be procedurally right for municipalities to be accorded an opportunity to discuss and use this money and monitor it from the municipal level, instead of allowing that?
Honorable Betty, the money that has been given out is given to districts, to cities, to municipalities. Unless you're not here when we had the opening remark. So the money, yeah, municipalities are covered. Yes, yes. The road is. Then why don't you put a committee at municipality level? What stops you from doing it?
Madam Speaker, that is the procedure matter and the guidance I was
now operational. It is operational. Can I hear from local government?
Right, Honourable Speaker, the 1 billion will be given to each of the 135 districts, to each of the 10 cities, and to each of the 31 municipalities. However, within the district, a municipality is a lower local government in the district. Now, for harmony, and to make sure that when the district road is being rehabilitated or maintained, it is done together with the municipality. So to have, synergies, they don't take the money of the municipality, but they plan together. Just like in Kampala, we have the Greater Kampala metropolitan area. But Mukono, Wakiso, Mpigi, they remain autonomous. But you know, when you're planning a road from Kampala to Boyogere to Mukono, it's good to have that synergy. Thank you.
Iganga municipality.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Maybe to give information to my good minister, there is good coexistence between the districts and the municipalities. For that case, when they give us the billion for the municipalities, we normally sit with the districts and we plan accordingly. Those of the district bring out their plans and those of the municipalities, and we have been moving on so well. Then, Right Honourable Speaker, I also want to thank you for the good work you've done. And from my observation now, the president is away in Russia, the vice president is Tanzania, so now you're acting as #1 in Uganda.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. I gave very, very clear directives. How I wish you don't water down with your the commitment has been given. He wants to give me information on commitment has been. I have ordered. I have ordered.
Yes.
I don't want any procedural matter on that issue. I have ordered.
Much obliged, Right Honourable Speaker. And I will not in any way veer into that territory. I am in possession of the budget execution circular for the financial 2023-2024, and I'm glad the Minister of Finance is in the House. Right Honourable Speaker, so that the Minister of Finance can guide the House and the country on the provisions of this budget execution circular. In particular, there is a plethora of policy directives in this circular, Right Honourable Speaker, but my concern is on 3 directives to which, with the indulgence, the Minister of Finance should offer clarification so that members of Parliament are able to follow and guide their peoples and leaders in the community. Namely, Directive 11, advertising by ministries, agencies, and local governments. The President, in his letter reference given, the President directed that in the financial 2023-24, all government advertising must be through the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC. An accounting officer who deviates from this will be sanctioned, including dismissal. Print media advertising should be done through the New Vision. I therefore urge all accounting officers strictly adhere to this directive. Right Honourable Speaker, through your indulgence, I would like to invite the Minister of Finance to clarify on the legality.
Honorable, before the order comes in, Honorable Lope, that is one of the petitions that I refer to the Committee of ICT today, as we await for a response from the committee.
I concede on that and wait for the report. 2, Directive 66. Construction of public infrastructure. You are reminded to follow the following guidance as issued by the President while undertaking infrastructure projects under health and education sub-programs. Projects financed 100% by the government of Uganda should be undertaken by the National Enterprise Corporation and Uganda People's Defense Forces Ingeniani Brigade, with the exception of universities and primary schools. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to invite the Minister, with your indulgence, to clarify on the legality of that directive, bearing in mind the fact that the same government is touting private sector-led growth. Where is the legality, the constitutionality of that directive? Aware that wherever we have been, the UPDF is undertaking stalled projects of health centers, and schools, Right Honorable Speaker. Secondly,
Honorable Lob, how did this come in?
you know, Right Honorable Speaker,
Because what you're raising is something very important that should come as a substantial item in the order paper. The issue of engineering brigade, why don't you give us and we bring it as a substantial?
Right Honorable Speaker, my job is to speak. The Speaker's job is to guide, and you're just
Okay,
doing that.
can we bring it under an item? Since the other one of broadcasters has gone to ICT.
Much
so-
obliged.
So we can bring that and we also bring a report to that effect.
Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, again with your indulgence.
It is
Thirdly, no, I vacated the first. I never raised it. So I'm raising the second. That's why you have a speaker in the House. The second is Directive 73, management of local revenue. I don't know, Speaker. Local revenue budgets for the financial 23-24 are based on projections by respective local government votes. Expenditure limits for local government, local revenue shall continue to be issued based on remittances to the Uganda Consolidated Fund. The expenditure limit shall be issued by the Accountant General's Office as and when funds are received. Right Honorable Speaker, this House issued directives on the issue of local revenue remittances, aware that the Minister of Finance was very slow in making available these funds local governments, which is why you find municipalities, local governments with rotten, streets, garbage is not collected. Every member here can make testimony that no local government has received 100% remittances. Finance failed to return these funds, and they were the premise upon which the House took a decision, a resolution that they should collect, spend, and account, and it was within the law, Right Honorable Speaker. Will the Minister of Finance explain how he vacated the directive and issued of Parliament without the leave of Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. You will need to answer that. But meanwhile, in the public gallery this morning, we have students and teachers from Devon Junior School. That's from Kira Municipality, Wakiso. Kindly stand up. Devon Junior School. You're most welcome. They are represented by Honorable Namuju, and Honorable Ssemuju and Honorable Naluima Ethel. Thank you. Welcome.
Honorable Namuju.
And then we have students and teachers from Blessed Kindergarten Primary School from Wakiso. They are still represented by Honorable Naluima Ethel. Please stand up. You're most welcome. And Seru Kunya David, you're most welcome. Thank you for coming. Honorable members, before the minister comes to respond to what has been raised, one, I want Honorable Panado. There are some things that don't just make a joke. There are things you don't make a joke out. That is number 2 of this country. I am merely number 3. I am here the number 3, and my work is in this house, not as a president, okay? So can you withdraw that statement?
Madam Speaker, with
Atidem.
due respect, and given the circumstances you are working in, I withdraw my statements. Number 3.
There are no circumstances.
Because
there are no circumstances.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I withdraw my statement because me, I looked at the scenario. The Prime Minister, she's in Rome.
I don't need an explanation.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I withdraw my statement.
I am a Speaker of Parliament. I'm not
Number
a
3, you are the
president.
Speaker of Parliament and you are my boss.
Abantu bacho
Honorable
ba
members,
president.
we need to respect each other person's position. And that's how some of us were brought up. Next item. 8, response to.
Right Honorable Speaker, the leader of opposition raised an issue concerning management of local revenue. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that we manage public funds in accordance with the Public Finance Management Act, and Section 30 of this Act talks about the consolidated fund, and if I may read, Section 31 reads as follows: all revenues or other money raised or received for purposes of the government shall be paid into and shall form part of the consolidated fund, except under Section 29. Madam Speaker, what this means is that if you are an entity of government and you collect funds, the law requires that you remit all these funds to the consolidated fund. What we do for local revenues collected by local governments and are budgeted for, we normally return this money to them. We have circumstances where the local governments have under budgeted. When you are under budget and you collect excess revenue, the law does not allow us to remit money back to you which you have not budgeted for. What we normally ask them to do is to rebudget through a supplementary. And when this comes in time, we have always complied and sent money to them. Madam Speaker, the issue too on the engineering brigade, this is not new, Madam Speaker. It is something we are implementing in the areas we mentioned in the budget for Satura.
I thought that was referred to a committee.
I don't see why he has a concern.
I thought that was referred to a committee. The one you're making, the one you're responding to, I told you to come with a statement to that effect. You don't need to respond just casually like that. Come with a statement with the facts. And especially when you're looking at figures. Act as an accountant.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for especially allowing the law to raise those issues where local governments have been suffocated. I have been at the inception of Recover University, I was on the board and it was taken up by the government. And the same is applying to institutions of tertiary institutions where they collect money and Minister of Finance is supposed to remit that NTR. For purposes of clarity, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, may I request the Minister also to clarify on why Kaba University money has never remitted back as NTR. and other universities. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, before he comes, he is right on the provisions of Section 39 of the PFMA, and I'm alive to this provision. But I'm also alive to the provisions of 29(3)(a). The Ministry of Finance takes away, including levies and fines, everything from the local government. And this is 29(3)(a). Will he explain under what provision of the law it takes away levies, including small marketed dues from local government?
Honorable Minister, no, I don't want a response now. Bring a write-up to that effect and give an explanation.
Right, Honorable Speaker, allow me to just say a little thing about this from the local government perspective. This is clearly an area where we depart with finance. Because under the Constitution, we run a decentralization by devolution system. The local governments are not substructures of the Ministry of Finance. Actually, they have their powers to budget, to pass supplementary budgets, to raise as much revenue as they like. But now when you hear that when they raise more money than they had budgeted, then they cannot spend it until they have to ask for the, it is something, honorable members, really we need to take forward very seriously. Unless together as Parliament and Cabinet, we reflect on this very seriously, you will find the districts demoralized with very little revenue when the money is stuck here. Now, just look at the rationale of this. You collect money from the market, from the roads, from the parks. It comes here to the consolidated fund. Then it is looked at and we see it is good. Then we send it back. And yet we have a council with the full legislative mandate, the full budgetary mandate. So, Speaker, I want to request you allow us, the two ministries, finance and local government, seriously to harmonize on this matter. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, as you harmonize this matter, maybe you need to also to amend the Public Finance Management Act. When you look at Section 29 of the Public Finance Management Act, it is what is causing all this problem. So why don't we have an amendment to that effect? Because the money collected, the NTR should be there to help these people. Because now when you look at the PFMA, is what is causing all these problems.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as a matter of procedure, I moved a motion, I moved here and I was granted to move an amendment of the Public Order Management Act.
Not order.
Public Finance Management Act. Public Finance Management Act. I've since written to your office and I've already had that motion and we are ready to broadly amend the Public Order Management Act. It awaits Public Finance Management Act. So all that awaits is for you to schedule this on the order paper and we have so many of these aspects duly attended to.
Thank you. Will clerk look at that and we have it on the order paper. Next item.
Item 7, motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development on the microfinance deposit taking institutions, revision of minimum capital requirements, instrument 2022.
Procedure, right, for
Minister of Local Government and Finance, how much time do we give you to harmonize and come to the House? How much time?
Madam Speaker.
Because before we do the amendment, you should be able to return back the monies. Yes, how much time?
Madam Speaker, in our opinion as finance, the law has no problem.
Okay. In your opinion of finance, is it required of you to send back the money to the entities that you've gotten money from, the NTR?
Madam Speaker, there is no entity that has collected money and budgeted and has not received it back.
Local government. True or false? Sorority is smelling because you failed to take back the money that is collected.
Right, Honorable Speaker, there is complaint from very many local governments, especially the urban authorities.
Yes.
They collect the money, they send it here, then they suffer with garbage, they suffer with service delivery. For me, it's not only that. Indeed, Honorable Chuvumbi has a point. The Public Finance Management Act, I think at a certain time has been taken as the super act, as if it is above the Local Government Act, as if it is above all other acts. I think, Madam Speaker, I totally take your guidance. The two ministries must sit and harmonize. Then we come to you with a harmonized position. I thank you.
Honorable members, this is a matter of executive. Matter of the executive, go and harmonize yourself and come up on how we can do better service delivery to our people. It's not just a matter of saying there is no problem with the law, and also it's not finance. Please go and harmonize and ensure you report to this house. I am giving you a month to do that. Next item.
Item 7, motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development on the microfinance deposit taking institutions, revision of minimum capital requirements instrument 2022.
Ensonga ndowooza muziwulidde muzifunye bulungi okuva wano mu Parliament y'eggwanga Uganda anti omulamwa oguliwo omunene gwa kulaba nti enguudo ziterera. Amakubo ennaku zino gabadde mabi mazibu nga bakulira zi district oba abakulembeze bagamba nti obuzibu buva kuba nti ensimbi ezisibwa Parliament ogenda okukola amakubo mu bitundu ebyenjawulo ebya Uganda ate isooka kuyita mu ministry ate ministry neyita mu kitongole kya UNRA ate UNRA agenda okuzituusa eri ensimbi oluusi nga tezikyawera oba ne zirwawo okutuuka. Kati Parliament esazeewo nti ensimbi zino zirina kugenda butereevu ku zi district oba ku zi municipalities oba ku zi cities zikole ku nguudo okusinga okuddamu okuyita mu channel eno wano aye ne zirwawo okutuuka. Ayagala zigende Parliament yagala ensimbi ezo zibe nga zigenda direct paka ku district bakole enguudo ate bannayuganda baleme kuddamu kugwa mbinya oba baleme kulaba nga balaba enguudo ezibomoka okugwamu. Ekyo nno kyandibanga kirungiko naye abasinga bali mu complaininga nti ensimbi eziweebwayo nazo ziba ntono zisaana okwongezebwako emirimu gitambule bulungi. Tezo ensimbi zijja kulema era enguudo zijja kumaliza nga oluusi tezikoleddwa kubanga ebitundu ebyenjawulo birina enkula ya njawulo. Mulimu ebitundu ebyensozi, mulimu ebitundu ebyenjazi, mulimu ebitundu ebigonda. Kati ensimbi ziba zinaakola mu bitundu ebigonda ate ziyinza obutakola mu bitundu ebirimu enjazi kuba kijja kutwala obudde bunene okwasa olwazi olwo okuyisaawo oluguudo oba okutereeza ekkubo ate kijja kutwala obudde bungi okulinnya ensozi oba okutema ensozi okuyisaawo ekkubo. Kati buli omu abadde awa endowooza ye naye nga kyekisaliddwawo kati ndowooza tugenda kufuna ku nguudo ennungi, tugenda kufuna ku makubo amalungi inshallah tusabe mukama osanga kati tugenda kutereramu tugenda kuba kone kamwenyu mwenyu fena nga bannayuganda nga tulina amakubo amalungi ndoza katonga tagenda kuddamu kugenda amakubo bwegati amakubo agabadde gagenda aga district ne katonga swa district ayunula naye byonna tusabirigane kulaba nti ate tufune ku makubo amalungi ge tutambuliramu ate gabe mayonjo kasasira amekubeera makubo enfuufu simanyi lwaki enfuufu teyerebwa mu makubo ezo nazo ensimbi baba ziteekebwayo simanyi oyita mu kkubo nga lyonna lijjudde enfuufu ng'enkuba yaleeta mukoka neeyiwa mu kkubo tebamugyamu n'ogambye niwali abakulembeze tewali ebyo ani abikolako ate byonna ebintu ebisaana okutunulwamu bisaana okukolebwako ne kasasiro omuyitirivu mu butale wa byonna bisaana okutunulwamu ate ensi yaffe enyirireko ewoomemu naye otuuka mu kifo nga kyonna kiwunya kiringa kikyuma bukyumi kiringa ttabu kati besimanya ani abikolako naye ate ng'ensimbi nti ziweebwayo kale tukwataganire wamu tulabe ng'ensi yaffe terera naye nga lubadde lutalo lw'amaanyi lubadde lutalo lwa bode okulaba ng'ensonga eno etuusa wano weeri akale tujja kuba tulaba ebinaddako tujja kuba tulaba ebinaavaamu ffe wetuli tujja kuba tubireeta tubibategeeze mubitegeere mulinde bulinzi tujja baffe tubijjayo gye biri nga tubyakuba mu maaso musobole okumanya ki ekigenda mu maaso mu nsi yammwe nze mbaagala nnyo era mbasiima nnyo okuba nti mubaawo nga mulaba amawulire n'okuba nti muwaayo akadde kammwe ne mulaba biki ebigenda mu maaso mu nsi yammwe ogwo omulamwa guba mukulu nnyo era kyekiraga nti n'oyagala ensi yo bw'olaba biki ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga lyo kati nsaba Mukama Katonda Lugabana Namukere Kaddunda abankuumire tujja kuddamu tuwayenze ngenze mweraba